Hunting-driven boar. 3 small words which put together imply exciting and action-filled hunting with demanding shots, and for a good reason. No other game species than wild boar will test the hunter's bushcraft and shooting skills to the same degree. Wild boars are intelligent, timid, and difficult to hunt, and their numbers are ever increasing. During the last 20 years, the population of wild boar in Europe has quadrupled. Today, wild boar is without comparison the most popular big game among European hunters, and the continent's annual bag is not counted in thousands, but in millions. We have gone to Romania, where there is a long tradition for shooting driven wild boar, and on top of this, you will find some of the world's largest boars here, both when it comes to body weight and trophy size. In this film, we accompany a team of wild boar hunters, each with a very different background, but all with one thing in common. They are struck by the wild boar fever. Olivia has international hunting experience, but this is her first driven boar hunt.
This is my first time to hunt wild boar driven in Europe. I'm used to Texas. In this case, I have to be selective. And I'm so glad I have Christian with me to identify.
Christopher, also known as Goliath, has a lot of experience with driven hunting in Sweden.
I just heard something down here. Let's see what it is.
Jochen is an ardent wild boar hunter all over Central Europe.
Nach runtergedonnert. 40 Meter und dann die steile Klippe über den Felsen. Und unten ist die Sau verendet. Wahnsinn. Jetzt habe ich Schwarzwildfieber.
Jens has a lot of experience from international hunting, including driven hunts.
That was a really big wild boar. And here in Romania, they look like they are enormous when they come.
Franz Albrecht is one of Europe's leading specialists in driven hunting, especially for wild boar, and will soon give us a lot of advice.
It's my first driven boar hunt this year, so it's the very beginning of the season for me. More than exciting. Like I said, we are in Romania, which is very far east compared to where I usually come from in Germany. So I can't wait to see what the boar look like. I've been told they have very big keilers, and in general the body sizes are bigger than what I'm used to. We're on a very selective hunt. We're not allowed to shoot any female large boar. We're allowed to shoot the younger ones, Frischling, and the medium ones, Überläufer. And if we can, we're looking for some big old male boars. And this is really what we came for, because Romania is extremely well known for those big old males. In general, the population of wild boar is not as high here than maybe in Hungary or in Sweden or in Germany. So we're not expecting to see huge numbers, and we're not expecting to shoot huge numbers. The idea is to be very selective about what we take and to try and really shoot as well as we can to bring the animal down as fast as possible.
Now we're ready to hunt wild boar.
One in the chamber. And lots down low. Check my aim point. Increase the intensity. Now, the big Kyla has to come.
Christopher does not have to wait for long to have his baptism of fire. This Frischling is approaching. Christopher is doing the right thing by waiting until the frischling stands still. But the first shot goes over the pig. Seconds later, however, he drops the animal with a far more difficult but perfect shot. This was a really good start for Christopher. Another wild boar arrives, but Christopher refrains from shooting.
Second one was a smaller kyler. We want to get those who are bigger.
One must constantly be alert, as game can come in from all possible directions. And there is not only wild boar here, but also a dense population of roe and red deer. Olivia soon gets a taste of what to expect. It might look easy, but is actually very difficult.
Shoot. Okay. Female. We just had 2 females run by. Thank God Christian identified that for me.
Man kan tydeligt høre grisene i skovbunden, fordi det har været så tørt der. Og det har ikke regnet længe, som i bladene. Der kan man virkelig... Nå, der var en, der havde held. Man kan virkelig høre, når vildsvinene kommer. Der er et eller andet derinde, de står med. Det er nogle kejler. Det var nogle kejler, den får lov at løbe.
Suddenly, a huge boar appears, but there is too high a risk of hitting one of the dogs by shooting straight away. Accordingly, Jens keeps cool and quite correctly holds his fire until the boar has passed his post. Only then does he shoot, as a bullet traversing the boar will fly away from the dogs. On top of this, he drops the boar with a perfect shot. Well done.
En stor kejler i første drev. Vi er lige gået i gang, og vi har ikke været i gang i mere end kvarter.
The expression on Jens's face says it all. The joy of hunting is written all over it.
Jeg tror, det er den største, jeg har set i levende liv nogensinde. Den kom jo ligesom et lukmotiv af muskler ned her mod os. Ej, hvor var det godt, vi fik ham her i første såt. De er i det centrale Rumænien, i midten. Ceausescus gamle jagtareal. Og her har ikke været jagtet. Jo, der har været 1 jagt siden 2007. I kan se alle jagttårne og det, vi står i. Det er helt nybygget til os. Og de har kun lavet selektiv afskydning. Så derfor så siger de, at området er kendt for nogle meget store gamle kejler.
At Christopher's post, something's happening too. This chance is very difficult, but the experienced Swede makes a rather fantastic shot. At Olivia's post, a large sounder of boars appears, but she is not sufficiently experienced to make a proper selection. She does the right thing, refrains from shooting.
Flying so fast. He's coming.
The barking of the dogs signals that another sounder will soon appear. However, it takes a lot of practice to utilize all chances, and Olivia is a bit distracted by a dog appearing between her and the boars, and accordingly she chooses not to shoot this time. Although this is a bit frustrating for Olivia, she's actually doing very well.
There's a dog. It's crazy.
The beaters' dogs are returning, and this makes an old Kyler so nervous that he decides to run. This offers a marvelous chance for Christopher, but due to the angle, he is not sure whether it's a sow or a Kyler. Accordingly, he makes too fast a shot during an apparently ideal chance, but what looks easy is often very difficult to do, and Christopher is naturally very disappointed.
That was a big one. And when he comes over, I wanted to take him on the road. wasn't sure it was a Kyler. I shot in front of him, I think.
Our stand is pretty quiet at the moment. We haven't seen anything. But you can hear the neighbors shooting. And it just gets your excitement going, you know. It's all about remembering what wild boar hunting is all about. And when you hear a series of shots, it just, you know, it gets your adrenaline pumping. And I'm just remembering how much I love wild boar hunting. It's really nice.
While Franz is waiting, he enjoys the forest and the beautiful colors and the marvelous autumn weather. However, he is much too experienced a wild boar hunter to forget constantly scanning the surroundings with his eyesight and listen for any game approaching.
Der kom lige en ræv, og den er lige løbet ned til Frans. Det er en rigtig dårlig idé for den ræv.
The very experienced Franz almost immediately spots the fox as it's approaching between the trees, but as he cannot tell where the bullet will go after having traversed the animal, he cannot make a safe shot. Franz can't do anything but wait and keep ready.
Der døde ræv.
Now the action is on. Here, two Frischlings come running directly towards Franz.
First two Frischling of the season. They were shooting on either side of us by our neighbors, and there was really nothing coming to us. But then suddenly we saw these two Frischling appear on the horizon, and in the beginning it seemed like they were going down to our neighbor again. But then he was shooting and they turned towards us, and I can feel I'm a little rusty, but we got them both.
You never know when an old male will come sneaking up, so Jochen can swing his Merkel double rifle drilling in caliber 9.3 times 74R and 20 bore. It's fitted with an Aimpoint 9000L red dot sight. Jochen has chosen to use RWS ammunition with a 19-gram Uni Classic bullet.
Wir haben hier einen Stand, wo von allen 4 Seiten Bild kommen kann. Deshalb muss man besonders konzentriert sein. Es ist super, weil das Laub ist schon runtergefallen. Man hört das Wild recht früh ranwechseln und mit dem elektronischen Gehörschutz tritt man etwas lauter und dann hat man sofort die Richtung, wo sie herkommen.
Finally, Jochen's patience is rewarded. A sounder is passing to his left, but too far away.
No chance for me. Keine Chance.
But Jochen knows that he must always be ready when hunting driven boar. Anything can happen, wherever and whenever. Jochen is ready to give the Kyler a coup de grace. Better safe than sorry. But this Kyler will never get up again, and Jochen seems to be quite happy with this fact. At Franz's post, a large sounder approaches. The many wild boars make an impressive sight when they run through the forest, almost like a river, and the experience is enhanced by the sound they make in the dry leaves as they run past. Romania really is a haven for wild boar hunters. Although Franz is not easily impressed, this is what happens now. And soon his vigilance is rewarded. Franz keeps aim at the Kyler in case it gets up again. Franz's eagle eyes are instantly checking if there are more boars coming.
Wow. We had this beautiful group. Maybe 30 or 40 boar come. Problem was they were just on the horizon. But it doesn't matter at all. Because just to hear them coming, to see them like that is such a pleasure. And they're such a strong boar, you can really see their big size. And then, while we were still watching them, suddenly, I could see from the corner of my eye, we have this huge male coming straight for us. There's more boar coming right now.
Unfortunately for France, these boars choose the same route as the big sounder, and he cannot make a safe shot. Jens Kjær Knudsen is ready for action too.
Der kommer en der. Der, foran.
A frischling is approaching. Now you have to be ready because Wild Boar will change direction and speed in a split second. After having hesitated a moment behind a large beech, the frischling chooses to pass Jens to his left, a very dangerous decision. Almost instantly, a sow appears, which naturally is allowed to pass unmolested, and the same goes for the sounder of pigs that follows her. There is nothing that will catch the bullet, and for the safety reasons, Jens cannot shoot at a boar in this sounder.
At the beginning, I didn't really think that there would be much. But throughout the drive, we've seen boar, mainly at our neighbors. Our right neighbor shot a lot, our left neighbor. We had a lot of problems with the horizon. But it's the perfect drive to start with, or to start a new boar season, because you get to hear them, you get to see them, your eyes get used to how they run. And when I actually thought most of them would have passed, then suddenly they started coming with us and we saw them closer. Like I said, mainly we had the horizon, but we were also able to take some nice shots on some frischling. And then suddenly this big male boar came quartering towards us, and a neighbor's shot fired at something else, and he got faster and he came in that, I would call it almost a gallop. You know, he's not running full speed and he's not trotting, but he's doing this, which is actually quite difficult sometimes because you have to not only aim in one line, but you have to go up and down a bit. So I was very happy that I hit him where he did. And he's such a big boar that you really have to place the shot somewhere in front to drop him. And I think everybody will be very happy that they don't have to search after a boar like that, because they can get very, very uncomfortable. I think he has nice tusks. I couldn't really see, but he's just such a big-bodied boar. Really, really amazing. And all the boar we've seen have been big-bodied. And to see them in this weather, I mean, it's the perfect boar day. We're not cold. And it's so dry, the leaves on the ground are so dry that you can hear them coming for 300 or 400 meters, which makes it even more exciting because you don't know, are they going to come towards you or are they going to go to your neighbor's left or right? It's really, really exciting. And I can't wait for the next drive to happen. But I'm just going to try and concentrate a bit more because you never know, at the end of the drive there might be another boar or two that were left and the beaters have not come through yet.
It has been a tremendous start here in Romania, but it's still far from over. Although it seems like the boars are far away, Jens knows that he should never relax too soon. Hunting-driven boar takes constant vigilance and concentration right until the drive is completely over.
Så. Nu kom de.
Jens doesn't know it, but in a moment something will happen which will make his hunting friends give him a new nickname. A monstrous kyler appears. Jens is attacked by a serious case of wild boar fever. He can't shoot to this side, as Franz Albrecht is posted here. Jens has to let the kyler pass, as nothing will catch the bullet behind it. The trees are not enough. There must be soil behind the animal you're shooting at. Accordingly, Jens must try and keep cool and concentrated in spite of this serious attack of wild boar fever.
Det var en kæmpe kejler. Der er igen kommet snigende her på den her så. Så heldig kan man ikke være. Lige så massiv en kejler som sidst. Og Og så gik han ned perfekt i første skud. Ej. Nå, jeg skal lade op igen.
While Jens is catching his breath again and reloading, a roe comes jumping past. Suddenly, Jens hears something approaching. A wild boar appears between the trees. The breeding females are naturally not to be shot, so Jens just enjoys the sight of the agile animal before she disappears again. Right now, it seems like Jens is quite a ladies' man. Yet another boar appears. However, it's not a huge keiler. After all, the trees do not grow up to the sky.
Så igen.
At the neighboring post, France has heard some movement in the leaves and is ready. A frischling arrives and is not alone. After this impressive demonstration of effective game management, France is now going to give us some tips on the noble art of shooting driven boars.
I'm just going to show you a few things that I do when I get to the stand. Some of them might be obvious, but I'm still going to show them. So here on the stand, for example, I have dry leaves. It can be a nuisance when the boar come and you have to change your position. And they hear